Hello, hello. Oh, what is this? I've got a black screen.
Nice.
Oh no, we're fine. Okay. Hello, hello. Welcome to week 7 of Beginner Bracket. This week I'm joined by usual repeat guest Dudikov. Hello.
Hello.
And joining him today is maybe someone that's not been on here before, but if you maybe been paying attention to other brackets in the EU, you probably heard from him. It's Viver.
Hello, hello.
Alrighty, we're all doing good today, I hope.
Yeah,
Please.
fine. I had a migraine yesterday, but it's better now.
You're good now. You did a sleepy tournament, slept it off.
I slept in between the migraine and the sleepy tournament, so that was the thing.
Oh,
I
I
slept
see.
pretty late last night.
I see. That's optimal.
But yeah, I've talked about this in the bracket thread, but in case you're not aware, we have a kind of small turnover rate of players today. 5 players. It do be like that sometimes. It's no big deal. The bracket will go on in as much of an ordinary fashion as it can. So to accommodate, we'll just be switching from Swiss to round robin, which at this player count is basically the same anyway. It's like in Swiss you would have played on each opponent anyway, with this many players. So that's not really any different. Still just first to 3 sets. We're still streaming 2 sets per round. But also there's only two sets per round on the bracket anyway, so that would be that means the entire bracket would be being streamed. So we'll just go through the bracket. All the stream matches will be all the sets will be on the stream. All games on stream because
All the sets will be on the stream.
Yeah, because it's only 2 per round anyway in the bracket.
Oh, yeah, because I'm still looking at the 6-man thing. Yeah, that's fair.
Just looking at the 6-man thing. Yeah, 5 players because, there's one person gets a bye, and then the 4 people are playing for 2 sets. And we normally stream 2 per round anyway. So, it doesn't change how the stream is run.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, all you guys can just start filing in. I'll give the go signal in the Discord chat. And yeah, we can just go top left, bottom right. Yeah, you know what else is 5-man round robin formats? We have Clash of Contenders happening next week. I'm in that. We're all in that actually. Yeah, Dudikov and Viver.
Am I?
Are you not?
Damn. I should have been prepared for that.
Well, I saw that Viver got Jundo in his bracket. Maybe he wants some fairy. Maybe doesn't care. I don't know.
I thought about it. Then I didn't.
I listened to Lobster.
You
You
thought about it, but then
disinformation.
Yes.
I mean, do you plan to play Narmaya in that matchup?
Yes.
I mean, I have a Narmaya in my group as well, so.
I see.
Please play me.
Please play me.
We can play, but not
Please
now. We've got a tournament
I
running
mean,
now.
who's stopping us from playing now?
I don't know. Who is out for playing right now? Do you have the data yet?
Let's see. The first match, we'll just go in order of the bracket. So, Top Shula versus Zeki, which is not a name I've heard before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see.
Yeah, Top Shula though is a regular attendee of these brackets. A Eustace player. I'm gonna assume Zeki is a Narmaya player because they have a Narmaya profile picture. So
Maybe possible, but not required to be so.
it's true.
There's
it's
a
not
certain
hard,
tendency, right?
It's not a hard requirement.
There's this.
Yeah. There's a certain
There's a lot of
aesthetic to Narmaya
Narmaya
that people
enjoyers.
like. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Namaya enjoyer, ex-Namaya player, yeah. We get that rule.
Ex-Namaya player. It's an official tag for a lot of players in the Grand Blue scene. But yeah, Zake, you might get wrecked, but hopefully we could point one or two things out that'll help you improve, and then you'll do better next time. Or you might do really well, you don't know. We'll see what happens.
We are just waiting for Zeki to enter the room. There he is.
See?
Alright, they should be starting soon, so I'll leave you in the capable hands of our two commentators.
Only 11 minutes.
That's one way of putting it. Yeah, so Namaya versus Eustace, is it? Is Top Shooter still playing Eustace? I'd assume so. Any thoughts on the Namaya Eustace matchup? Am I still here? Viver's dropped out.
I think Viver might have. Are we good?
I did not. I thought I gave you notice of that I was going to be gone for like a minute.
Oh, yeah, we didn't.
Oh yeah. No worries.
No,
Lobster, come
carry
and
on.
help me.
What? No, he's back. You're
Okay,
fine, no?
I said a minute.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, that was a minute.
Oh, was it? Sweet.
It was.
Anyway, Namaya versus Eustace, how's that? Tell me.
This matchup used to be super free back when Mistfire appears projectiles. No, it isn't. No, you actually have to kind of interact with Eustace and inch your way in.
I hate interacting.
Yeah, same. Like, for anything else, I'd have to see what is actually happening here, how Zeki is trying to approach the matchup as a whole. But in general, okay. We got a knockdown, we got pressure here, but in general, this is a classic rushdown against Zona matchup. The rushdown character wants to move in on the Zona wants to keep the rushdown character out. Namaya achieves this with, it's been a while since I've last played this matchup, and it depends on what Eustace actually does. You're going to want to jump over some projectiles using the long range of your jump U and jump H to space yourself out, and you are going to want to sometimes use command dash to approach in case Eustace leaves a gap in his zoning. Then you basically go for like command dash L and you're kinda close for free. It's
The
roughly how it
typical thing
works.
with zoners, get them to stop shooting, then use the abilities that you have to be able to get in quickly.
Yeah. The thing that is a common theme of Namaya in these kind of matchups is that she's got extremely quick options at like mid to long range. She's got EX Mistfinder, she's got command dash stuff, and she can really use that to interrupt zoners in the gaps of their stuff or punish them for trying to set up. No.
But yeah, starting out, Top Shooter has been playing for a little bit now, so you can see that they have a general idea of what the Eustace game plan is, using the various options to be able to apply his own pressure or just keep the Namaya player out.
For sure.
Zake, a bit of a newer player. Got a general idea of like what buttons to be pressing on. There's a bit of lag there, which is unfortunate. But
Yeah. Yeah, what I'm really noticing from Zeke is that they are barely using Namaya's buttons on the ground and instead running in to throw out a Mistfinder. When instead at the ranges where those Mistfinders are happening, Namaya has a really good button. She can press far heavy or far medium and deal a lot of damage, or just straight up interrupt Eustace from trying to do anything.
yeah, that's a big thing. I mean, specifically in this matchup as well, the Eustace, he's got the H grenade which sticks onto you and gives you a little red shining light on top of you. And the common option that Top Shooter's going for here is after putting that on, he's going for the overhead because he can combo off it after it because it'll explode the grenade.
Yeah.
Or you can just use it to apply more plus frames to be able to run in and do a throw like that.
Okay, that's a good special cancel. Generally, That's also something that kept happening in the set in particular. Zeki has been running forward without doing anything in particular and then getting hit by anything. So I don't know if Zeki has any prior fighting game experience in terms of how they're using the runs, but one thing that you really have to know with runs in this game is that you cannot block after running.
Oh yeah, that's a big one. That catches everyone out.
Yeah. You have to commit to some sort of option after running in. You cannot just run and block, you have to run and then use a button, or run and then do something else. I feel like, at least from these kind of basic confirms, Zeki has at very least some fighting game experience. Perhaps with something like Strife, where you can block directly after dashing.
Yeah, I mean, they got a general idea of using like the Mistfinder as like a longer range perk and using the DP as a reversal option when it's not your turn. So obviously an understanding of like, you know, your basic fighting game mechanics there. It's just the more expanded Narmaya toolset. I mean, I've seen one or two like slashes in there as well.
Yeah. The thing definitely is that Mistfinder should not be a core part of your game plan in basically any situation as Narmaya. There's very, very few matchups where you're going to want to think about Mistfinder, especially without an EX. EX Mistfinder is a very good tool and you can just throw it out if you want to, but the non-EX Mistfinder has achieved very little for how much risk you take. So like, Zeki is hitting those Mistfinders, has hit like 5 Mistfinders in a row at this point, trying to hit top shooter with some sort of death of 1,000 cuts, but that's not Narmaya's basic game plan. Narmaya's basic game plan, as I would understand it, is you do want to run knockdown pressure. She's got one of the best pressure games in this video game. Once the character is in, has a knockdown, she can run throws, run you closer to the corner, and has incredible corner combos. So,
nice
yeah, nice mash as well. That's kind of what has to happen here. But Zeki just cannot get this kind of game started, because the only hits I'm really seeing here are mostly Mistfinders.
Yeah, the two options that they seem to go for is either Mistfinder or run in and do an auto combo.
Yeah. I respect the DP. Top Shooter did bait it, but I think it was a good choice to present DPs at this timing and spacing sometimes. And yeah, no, Top Shooter is absolutely out. Something you can absolutely also do against a projectile Zona matchup, especially if they're further out, is you can just jump forward. Against projectiles, you can air block projectiles in this video game. So if you just jump forward while blocking, a projectile Zona can't really stop you from doing that. You're going to approach for free and safely. If they're close enough to anti-air you might have a problem, but from further out it's possible, and I think Zeki has definitely not been jumping enough in this matchup as well, considering how strong Narmaya's space jump-ins are, especially with the jump U, which has a lot of forward range.
Yeah, that's one of the core ideas when it's a Zona versus Rushdown matchup, is leveraging how many projectiles they're throwing out to be able to gain space, and jumping is a huge part of that, just jumping over the projectiles. Doing so in a safe way to gain space, or even like taking a big risk, trying to get a big jump in so you can get a big jump in hit confirm, and then going to your big combo after that.
Eustace differs from other zonas like Metera in that he's got good reactive anti-airs, but still, I would believe that, like Metera, I think there's a big similarity that Eustace has to commit to not doing anything for a while, so that he can look for that anti-air. He has to not throw out projectiles in order to try and snipe you out of the air.
Yeah, exactly. So, this is a fun match.
Speaking of Metera. Oh, Jesus. Speaking of Metera, we've got one. Well, it was a fun matchup. Not thankfully. Say, to the call. Have you heard about the UK World War II exploding rats?
I found that awful. These secret services get up to so much like horrible stuff, like exploding dead rats. Have no respect for their carcasses.
For sure.
Anyway, what I'm saying here, I mean, there you probably want an hour. Oh, actually, they didn't have any arrows, so that's probably the only option they could go for. So yeah, fair enough with that.
Yeah.
And it's a weird conversion after that. You can do more damage, but you got enough damage there anyway. It's fine. He's just like me, for real, just going into overdrive as soon as they get close.
That's a shame. They didn't have any armor. Yeah, but that's a spectacle. You have to be able to deal with overdrive first. It's such a strong option otherwise. If you're not looking out for overdrive.
Yeah, I think at a low level, like Overdrive is just so strong that you really want to be looking for it a lot of the time. Just whenever you get it, just go for it. Unless you like specifically need your meter for rush or backshift,
Yeah.
which can be a bit difficult to use at lower level as well. Oh no, 2U spot dodge, that's not good.
Kind of like Valentine's ratting. Like Valentine is already mixing up how he wants to move and trying to catch them unawares.
First person
Moving
to
right
activate X
forward.
command grab, let's go.
Yep. Don't know what that was.
Yeah, using Firelight in order to Firelight, one of like Matera's plus buttons, is able to like cancel
Yeah.
that into itself in order to like just push someone back or like catch someone standing up from closer range.
Yeah,
doing a good
that button does a lot.
It's pretty good.
Sure is.
And yeah, patience against Vast Stance as well, very good.
Oh,
You can
baby!
spot dodge here. You can
That's
spot dodge.
guaranteed. That's guaranteed
Is
at
it?
this point.
Is it?
I think so.
It's like- I thought you can cancel it.
You have to ask Arai, but I think there was a difference in terms of what kind of attack level you press. So
I'm fairly sure Matera's medium is low enough attack level that you can cancel it.
Yeah, it's usually heavies I hear about. But I'm not expert on it. But yeah,
Honestly.
if you're in that situation, just try spot dodging.
yeah, doesn't cost
It might
anything.
work. Yeah, Valentine leveraging a lot of Matera's movement options as well, not just like stood there statically throwing arrows,
Yeah.
which is something that's like very strong in this matchup, but also just being able to move around, keep the Vast guessing is big as well. Fortunately, you can get a conversion there 'cause it's too far away, and you've got the air arrows as well, which is another good alternative way of zoning Vast out. So yeah, very strong round there. So yeah, on the Vasaraga end of things, like this is obviously a tough matchup to get a hold of. One of the big things would be to try and get a knockdown with Matera and then be able to get your armor, because at that point, you then have an option to be able to like use your tackle to get in, because it can absorb
Yeah.
the arrow and then just hit the Matera. Or if you're a bit closer, you can start using Walk, and Matera's only got like the generic options against Walk, aka jump over the Walk or like just block low basically. I mean, you can do other things as well, but that was unfortunate.
Extremely unfortunate. This should actually work.
Yeah, so this is a point where Vash should really be looking to OD. Just because he's on chip point, and if he takes any more like specials at that point, then he's going to die. Whereas OD prevents chip damage from anything, so it puts you in a lot more like
Nice.
better position to be able to make the comeback. Oh, interesting. Trying to catch the Matera jumping out on the wake up.
Yeah. It's not easy. I like Raven using a lot of forward jump to approach it, by the way. We've just talked about this in the previous time around.
There's a lot
That,
of holding guard button in the air as well.
yeah. That makes it very obvious. You don't need to, but it's nice. Good at least attempt to convert the anti-air combo with an anti-air grab.
Yeah, that's another thing when you got armor as well, is that like you can use the threat of the charge of the armor in order to approach as well, because the Matera needs to like
Okay,
chill
nice.
on arrows.
Overdrive? There we go.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, that's that. No, it doesn't. Respect offensive OD. Yeah, good luck, Matera.
you're
It's
gonna have to
resource
hold
suppressing.
this.
Oh no. We're
Yeah,
not
it's only
holding
pressing.
it. Yeah. Valentine is very, very heavily resorting to these big swing options as soon as they can on the fence, which is, well, it works. And if your mind is already like busy trying to somehow get in and then take your chance once you're finally in, then it's going to be hard to contest.
Yeah, it's a big thing with Matera, is that like
Yeah.
it's so hard to get in that you want to do stuff once you're in. So the Matera can leverage that like desire to actually do big damage, to be able to get out herself with an OD or some jump out or something like that.
Exactly. You seriously can never stop being patient against illness in this game. I hate it.
Yeah, that's why we talk about the Matera meter.
Exactly. At some point, you just have this desire to establish your close range advantage and choke the rat. But you cannot.
I might have a chance here.
Cannot without the rat physically consenting to
There might
be
be an OD encounter here.
for sure. There it is. And the triple. Ah.
But
I mean,
unfortunately, it's a
the
good
diaphragm
idea.
at least. The diaphragm at least.
Just need to do it a little bit quicker, basically.
No armor.
Just missed out on the armor there. Got it there now. Yeah, just like walking forward, blocking, occasionally spot dodging and rolling is a good idea. Although when the Matera's moving about as much as this one is, it's difficult as well because you also have to look out for the hops and the 2Us, which have been very useful, but managed to counter it there. Decides to get another armor token, although that allows the Matera to get out, getting close to the corner now.
Yeah,
unfortunately, just getting caught a lot by these like stray arrows or like occasional EX arrows and that kind of thing, which just speaks to what you're saying earlier about just being patient in the matchup. Especially if they're like doing a lot of 2Us and EX arrows. If they use the EX arrows, then obviously you don't have access to those projectiles anymore for a while, and that makes the situation better for you. And then 2Us, it's just, you know, walking forward and blocking. It's very frustrating to continuously get hit by that, but it's just a case of like watching your toes. But yeah, tough matchup all around anyway.
Yeah, the way you should see Metera going in with the 2U or with the Hop is essentially that if you were patient enough, they would have offered their heads on a silver platter to you.
Yeah, there was a lot of unsafe 2Us right there. So if you just managed to be patient, just blocking, then they would block that and then they could punish the 2Us afterwards. As an example. Oh. We're going on the Womble cab instead of the normal cab.
Womble cap. Oh, it's Metera against Namaya. Yeah, good luck. This is going to be tough.
Nice fair 5-5 matchup here.
Yeah. Honestly, what I want, if there's one thing that Zeki should take away from this right now is hold up forward and press heavy on the way down. I think that's going to yield at least some results.
Yeah, try jumping.
Yeah, nice. I see jump.
I mean, it didn't work there, but...
Just means you should do it again. And don't retreat from Metera. This ain't the character you want to retreat from. You need to be close.
One thing with those TK, I mean, one thing with those air arrows is that if they hit your feet, then the roll is going to get hit by that because the roll has a hurt box, like, towards the feet.
Yeah.
So when they're in the air and you expect an arrow, don't roll, spot dodge, or just block.
Okay. That's an anti-air.
And you can punish there. Just not in time.
Nice recognition from Zeki there. Seeing that they can punish, that they should be able to punish it, isn't it? It just was a case of probably missing a 2M or something. But like, Zeki actually thought that match was in a position where they could have taken control of the match, where it honestly is the kind of position that Namaya wants to be in, having Metera cornered at a bit of a distance.
No, nice. You can punish that, nice.
Yeah. Into a knockdown and trying to establish a meaty, nice. So...
Yeah, one thing I'd say about Zeke is when they actually do get in and start pressing buttons, just doing a full auto combo into a special is very rarely going to lead to results.
Exactly. But, I mean, Namaya pressure is a bit difficult to execute, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, you can do the basic thing of just like going in, doing like a light and then going for a throw or something like that, or close light into 2L, into move forward, into like a heavy or something like that. Just like
Namaya doesn't have a close light that can be used like that.
Oh yeah, good point.
Forget about close light, that's all 2L, or 2M.
What a shame.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say again as well, like for newer players as well, like Metera is a very frustrating matchup.
Yeah. Honestly, why do we need... Why is this a load on the beginner bracket? This is good. Now we're in. But yeah, Valentine just has to remove themselves.
Managed to create a little mini frame trap with that jump in there. Oh.
That was a misinput. And Zeki just got hit by arrows. Running forward at Metera is a bit difficult because you're going to probably get clipped by an arrow if she does shoot one.
Yeah, I think it's the case of like the running forward and not being able to block thing coming through again. It's not something that's intuitive to you when you first play the game, but when you are running, you can't block immediately.
Ah, I know the mental stack is too overloaded, and Zeki didn't actually recognize the punishable hit. Unfortunate.
Yeah. Can't really challenge with Mistfinder there, unfortunately.
Of course, yeah. Honestly, just forget Mistfinder exists in this matchup. It is especially use as an EX. If you want to throw one out, or if you want to raise the pressure with it. But the non-EX Mistfinder absolutely achieves nothing. You can't use it here.
You shouldn't apologize for playing Matera. It's fine.
Yeah.
This is the state you want to invoke in people. It's just hopelessness.
Pretty much exactly. That's how it works. This could have been punishable. Zeki is in a good spot. So the hit you're looking for as Namaya near the corner is anything that leads into a command dash, and then into the EX, into her EX Kyokasugetsu has slashes. The 3 slashes that are in EX. That's your main combo starter near the corner. If you hit that one, you're fine. You can do a lot of damage. If you...
Yeah.
So, honestly, in the Metera matchup, you can also just really aggressively fish for it. Nice, okay, okay. We may be getting something starting here.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can see like these far buttons connecting when they actually go for them.
Mm.
And that's the kind of stuff you want to be doing rather than running straight in and doing auto combo.
Yeah.
Also mixing in for us into what you're doing as well will help like get hits as well.
Yeah. Or at least doing the special cancels that will not immediately lead to ending your turn. Namaya has 2 EX specials that are plus on block that you would want to use when you have finished an auto combo. One of them is her EX Mistfinder. So you can just cancel auto combo into the EX 236 in Genji.
Nice job. So that's the thing you were talking about.
This would have been a full corner combo opportunity. You don't want to miss out on them, because this is how you win this matchup.
Oh no.
If it's a contest of stray hits, Metera wins that one free every single day of the week.
Yeah, when there's butterflies out as well, you want to be extra careful. Especially if you're not too confident rolling the arrows or like spot dodging the arrows. Like usually just going for like just blocking the arrows might be a better idea, and then jumping over them when you can.
Yeah.
Just normal projectile, how to get in type stuff, rather than trying to leverage the unique system mechanics, which might take a bit to learn.
Of course, it would be optimal to try and spot dodge or roll through them, but that's a reaction check, not always realistic.
Yeah, I mean, it usually is better to spot dodge or roll the projectiles on the ground, because that leaves the projectile still on the screen, and then the Metera can't shoot another like special arrow for the entirety of while that's still on the screen, which gives you more opportunity to go in. She can still do a far heavy, but that's also like a dangerous button for Metera to press because of the amount of recovery it has. As you saw earlier when like the Namaya jumped in, managed to get a full combo because of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I won't be too disheartened by it. It's just this is a beginner bracket. We're here to learn here to see how people are doing, give some advice, hopefully get them better for next time, and then just give them experience with like other people around this level.
Mm-hmm. So next up we have Top Shooter against Try to Compete. First time we are seeing Try to Compete today. Has had the bye in the first round.
So there's always an interesting matchup for a Zona type card. I think in this matchup, Eustace probably wants to get in. Same for Zoe as well. Leverage the fact that neither has very good reversal options.
Yes, so the question of who wants to get in and who doesn't want to get in depends on several factors. One of them is who wins the zoning warfare, and the other is how much can Zoe charge for free while Eustace tries to zona. Because Zoe will more or less win if you let her get enough charge in any matchup. So you would like to avoid that. Try to Compete currently is trying to play the matchup relatively aggressively, approaching the Eustace of Top Shooter.
Smashes there despite being hit by the overhead. Works out.
Oh wow. Books the DP, and now try to compete is being hit by various projectiles that Eustace has. Has almost no Dragon Meter left, and we're seeing in Eustace offense here, nice. Good attempt to anti-air, however it was just a bit late, but that's Komodo. It's a good block on the overhead, but
Just expect an OD there.
is what it is.
Okay, we'll take that.
Alright. Well, that's also an interaction you don't see every single day. Interesting mash.
Oh, mashes with the grenade explosion. Don't see that very often as well, but it works out.
Yeah, honestly, this is looking pretty wild.
It is.
For sure. This is giant news. Works out though. And I think a match that looks as messy as this, with both
This
players
is
really
the perfect ending to such a match.
with both players really taking their chances also means that both players are already kind of good. You know? Already are
Yeah, they're able to like keep doing pressure. They're able to understand what their buttons are doing, I guess.
yeah. They're swinging for their stuff, they know what kind of reward they can expect of what they press and get it regularly. So
I mean, you see this type of thing with like beginners as well, in that like because their pressure isn't like airtight all the time. There's a lot more of these mashing opportunities, even on like situations where they shouldn't normally be mashing as much.
yeah, like this, right? But that would be the next step.
So you end up seeing SBAs work out a lot more as well in this situation because people are always trying to keep pressing and there's always gaps there for them to do it, and there's less there's less of those just hitting 2L and then stopping to see what happens. It's always followed up by something else.
Yes, but honestly, being patient on offense is a surprisingly high level skill, I believe. It's gonna take a long time to develop that.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I mean, you can kind of do safe pressure that happens to more or less be safe, right? Go for safe jumps, go for 2LL, but straight up just taking a short break and seeing what happens is a skill that a bunch of mid-level players haven't developed yet, for example.
Yeah. That's why you hear someone talk about like playing the flow chart. So a lot of players they'll have the little flow chart where they'll do something, and then there might be an option between doing one thing or another, like a strike throw situation or whatever. But very rarely is there like pauses in that flow chart, and that's why like better players are able to exploit that in order to like beat them.
Okay, this should be spot dodgeable if that's an one bullet, right? Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
I mean, it's a safe OD, so that's fine.
Exactly. Oh, that should be a good idea.
Is this gonna work? Nice.
That's it. No animation, but we get that was such an unsafe setup. When's it working out?
But the shock of being hit by the SSBA left him in a state of petrification, which allowed the dragon to come out.
True.
So yeah, with that Eustace EX charge in, hit into jump back shot, you can actually do something about that in the sense that you can jump, if you predict that will happen, jump forward, then you can punish it.
Yeah. I don't believe, in the grand scheme of things, I wouldn't call
It's
that a
probably
risk
not-
that's most of the time worth taking, but it's an option sometimes worth representing if Eustace uses it like it is actually safe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's an offensive. I see, I
Interesting
understand.
DP.
But the compete is running into a lot of projectiles. This is
Yeah,
an
that's
anti-air,
a-
yeah, that's a shame, but wasn't looking out for it.
That's why Eustace is such a good zoner as well, is that like the delay between the grenades and the projectile is that if someone goes in, spot dodges the grenade late, then the projectile's going to hit any roll that comes across.
Yeah, you can't easily spot dodge Eustace's projectiles and negate his zoning game compared to most other characters in this game. Most other zones.
Yeah, they're not
in this game.
straightforward projectiles.
And even a straightforward projectile, unlike any other projectile in the game, if you spot dodge it, Eustace doesn't care, he's going to shoot another. Most other characters will have their projectile go on cooldown until it has fully left the screen.
As we were talking about earlier with Mateo, yeah.
Yeah. If it's spot dodged, Eustace specifically doesn't. He just gets to shoot again. It's a solid grab.
Because he needs it.
Yeah, he does actually require it.
Fortunately, the laser's still on the screen, so it goes through the invincibility eventually.
Don't dislike that idea, but you need to know your ranges. And would also need to practice your combo. I have no idea how good the connection is, if it is bad, if it's good, but you don't want to drop your corner combos as regularly as Try to Compete as currently.
Yeah, don't drop your corner combos.
Very important.
I'm still learning that one myself.
It's a Metera player disease. You try to cancel into super and then your hands turn to the spaghetti.
It's so difficult to do 2 quarter circles and press the button. So yeah, L Dragon's like good.
Solid, decent. You can argue it as a special. There we go.
You see there, like L Dragon can hang out and can catch people by surprise by just having like the M Dragon or the H Dragon follow-ups coming from a different direction than what you'd expect, i.e. not next to Zoe. Also like L Dragon's plus as well when it hits, or is blocks, I mean. So it's a good pressure tool as well.
Yeah. In particular, 2 things that really stand out to me about L Dragon compared to other projectiles is that 1, it knocks down counter hit, and 2, it doesn't really have any hurtbox on startup. So it is a counter poke supreme. If you're not hitting Zoe herself, she's going to hit you with a dragon. If you're misspacing your button slightly, just a tiny bit, she's going to be hitting you with that dragon and knocking you down. It's difficult to play
against. Thing about it.
Matters less in a projectile against projectile VAR, where Zoe is sooner or later going to suffer a bit from needing a gauge for a fireball while her opponent does not.
Yeah, eventually by the 20th L Dragon, she'll have run out a little bit of meter, and then she'll have to start thinking about not losing the dragon.
True. Oh, that's kind of bit.
Can you punish that?
Didn't punish. Would have loved to see.
I feel like that can be punishable, but if you're not confident on it, then that's fair enough.
I fully expected some sort of grenade detonation combo there, by the way, to be honest, to be entirely honest.
Okay.
But it wasn't to be. Oh, he has too much invincibility.
Yeah, you have to be especially careful when the grenade is attached to you, because then Eustace gets access to like big damage mid-screen.
Oh, Top Shooter is really, really good about taking advantage of how impatient Try to Compete is at playing the matchup right now. This has more or less been a masterclass. So far, we've had one mistake here. Actually, this might have been a confirm. Sick.
We'll give him credit.
You will give him credit. This is perfectly possible as a confirm.
Interesting, but it works out.
That's a shimmy, I guess. Ah, yeah, Top Shooter also. Top Shooter currently isn't really respecting pressure for that much. You're going to have to show as a Zoe player that your pressure is real, because Top Shooter is going to disrespect until you do. Right?
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. Holding a dragon after throw is not real either. Like, Try to Compete probably needs to look a bit into what kind of H-Dragon setups are real, and guarantee the H-Dragon coming out and aiding him on Oki, and which are not, because, for example, I've seen an attempt to set up H-Dragon from non-EX Rise and Fall, her non-EX DP either spamming slash, however you want to call it. But you need an EX to have a long enough cooldown for it.
Yeah, you take
like,
a risk at that point. It's not. If the opponent knows what's up, then they can counter it as Top Shooter just did.
Yeah. I have to look that up. Ah, nice. At this point, the Combeat is just getting poked out, anti-air, and slowly crushed.
Yeah, Top Shooter's confident at this point. The try to complete is not going to be able to convert any sort of stray hits that they get when Top Shooter's mashing, and when they do mash, they get big stuff out of it like this. They get the corner, they got a grenade on top.
Yeah.
Now it's going to lead to the finish of the game.
Nice. Clean adaptation.
Yeah.
Alright.
In terms of the adaptations made there, I guess like Top Shooter was mashing at the correct times instead of just whenever, I guess. Like he was mashing more like when Zoe was a bit further out, and therefore like if they get an inadvertent hit or something like that, then it would be difficult for them to convert it into anything significant. Or they'd have to take a risk on like cancelling into an EX special without knowing. Yeah, sure, no problem. Yeah, next up, got the Zoe again versus Metera.
Straight into another Zona meta. When you've already
Tried
honestly...
to complete twice. Nice.
We got tried to complete twice. Getting sent straight into the second Zona matchup actually, when he's already shown like clear signs of being kind of tired of being zoned out just now.
See if the meter
So
gets
let's-
replenished.
We would hope so, but I think usually it doesn't.
Yeah, with Metera there, if you get the auto combos, you probably want to cancel into an EX special, but you know, oftentimes you're not ready for it, so that's fair enough.
Yep. Betting Metera is hard enough. You don't wanna give up pressure if you don't need to.
Yeah, nice work, so nice mash out as well. Alright, so Zoe doesn't have Dragon anymore, so you can freely just like sort of do stuff, get some butterflies out, shoot some projectiles, and there isn't a lot she can do about it. She can take some space, but... So in this sort of situation, I'm probably looking to maybe get out some normal butterflies just because I can. But also going in is another option you can do as well, and as Valentine, or however you pronounce it, said. Very funny round start, worked out though.
She just slided through Zoe. Wrapping is in progress.
Yeah, no, it's very like impressive like awareness of where the butterfly is and how to activate it, which is serving her very well at this point.
And we see Try to Complete also falling into the similar kinds of patterns we've already seen earlier on stream, with committing way too hard to his movement against Metera, especially committing to options that can be punished. Like running in, like preemptively rolling is also another good candidate. Like preemptively rolling is... I hate it. I hate actually doing it against Metera because you usually just get hopped on. Honestly, it's terrible.
Yeah, it's a heavy read which can lead to big damage for the Metera. And often,
yeah.
like the most you get, the most you get out of it is being able to be in on a Metera that can block, which isn't like a significant like balance for a squad. It's something you have to do occasionally, but yeah, it's not a fun thing to do.
So in terms of opportunities, Try to Compete had two very good opportunities this round to counter hit far heavies, but neither of them have been special cancelled into anything. So Valentine is now coming away with the round because Valentine has more or less taken advantage of every single of their opportunities so far. While Try to Complete should have gotten a corner combo by now if you had... I think it's fine to just say, well, right now, don't worry about trying to hit confirm, just special cancel, just always special or rush cancel. If you're committing to a button, you, as a Zoe against the Zona, you want every single one of your buttons to be well thought out, and you want it to hurt if you make the right read with it, because every single normal you press counter is a big read. Usually Metera is not going to interact with it.
Yeah. I think it's worth like throwing out Eldragon a lot from distance, just to frustrate the Metera, get her to do some other things, or at least be more patient with throwing projectiles.
Yeah. I'd also be a big proponent of just, using Rush as a cancel tool. It's going to land you in a good situation. I think that's better than not canceling often. Especially if you're reasonably convinced this thing is going to hit, then go for it. And if you're pressing a button like that against Metera, you should be reasonably convinced that it will hit.
It's a nice idea.
Bison Fall is a good tool. Metera has some troubles dealing with it.
There you go, there's a jump in.
And no special
finish off
cancels.
I think could have gone into DP there, maybe.
Possibly, yeah. Was a difficult situation. Because at this point you need cooldown awareness. Also, that's also not extremely easy. Let's put it like that. You need to be aware of what kind of cooldowns you have and what kind of combo you could be finishing in if you don't have your primary cooldowns like Echo.
That's something pretty unique to this game, and is cooldown management. Just being aware of what cooldowns you have, what cooldowns you want to have when in the future. So like using an EX to get out of the corner, you might not use that EX when you're pushing someone into the corner, for example, because you need it for the corner combo.
Exactly. Okay.
Oh.
Good mash.
Yeah, so you've seen how good the L Dragon is there. Although, yeah, it's another thing we tried to complete as well is the Dragon meter management. I've seen them occasionally like taking a second here and there to charge the meter, but Zoe without Dragon in this matchup, it's pretty tough to get anything going. If you run out of Dragon meter in this matchup, I'd probably recommend the Zoe to be a bit more patient, defensive, because then they're taking a lot of risks to get in, and if they do get in, they won't be able to like get their setups and get the big damage. So it's more worthwhile just like chilling out a bit.
Depends. I would, for example, in that situation, as Try to Compete, definitely have chosen to take Oki over the Dragon meter charge. Because if you still have enough for like, I guess, 2 H dragons, 1 H dragon, you can afford to take the damage.
Yeah, that's true.
You should, right? That's your win condition. Some nice hits here. Yeah.
I know a lot of the good Zoe players in EU, they know the good points to actually charge the dragon or the opportunities to do so. And they're able to, like, one thing with Zoe in this matchup as well is if you're far away, you can charge, and then if they shoot a projectile at you, you can just cancel it out with a charge follow-up.
Yeah.
And that'll cancel out EX, yeah, just like that. And it'll cancel out the EX projectile follow-ups as well. So it's like really useful in this matchup and really frustrating for Metera, because you've just wasted the cooldown and they just like said nope.
Okay, that's nice. Forcing your way in with Rang if you get the opportunity probably also is something that Metera has to be aware of in this matchup, and Zoe too. Because that kind of situation probably clearly favors Zoe because she does spend a lot of Dragon Gauge, true, but she spends that Dragon Gauge on just completely skipping neutral.
Yeah, I think that's you lose Dragon Gauge every time you get knocked down, so every time you're getting hit by these like counter hit arrows, you're losing Dragon Gauge on that as well.
Yeah. Pretty tough. Might actually be a matchup where this character has to manage Dragon Gauge.
A little bit.
A little bit. I see.
But yeah, when it comes to charging the Dragon meter as well, I'd say like the best time to do it is after like spot dodging a projectile, because it'll take a second before another projectile will come at you.
Yeah, and if it does, you can react.
Yeah, and then at that point you'll be like you can't go into the follow up straight away for the charge, but a short time afterwards.
Another drop. Available. Oh, it's so important that you maximize your opportunities against zoners. Can't stress this enough.
Nice use of M Dragon. I haven't really seen that option so far. There's a situation against the zone that's very typical. Unfortunately,
it's gonna hit. Nice.
I thought they'd just go over, let's be honest.
I wouldn't be surprised. But Try to Compete does manage to take that game, barely avoiding being timed out. There were like 7 seconds left on the clock.
That's a good that special SSBA, I should say. It's very good against Metera as well. As it'll go through projectiles, it'll charge right across the screen, and it'll also catch her in the air.
Should have waited. True. That's the answer to every single one of your problems in this video game. Nice full combo. Nice. That's a good setup. Oh no.
Gosh. Same thing happened again, unfortunately.
Yeah, this should have been real though. So Taito Kubita has to have messed up something in the timing of the setup.
And Dragons.
Nice.
The hitbox on the like actual flame pillar that shoots out. It's really annoying.
Oh baby, love Eldrang. Love seeing Metera getting actually crushed out of Hop. I've got a small trauma, man. My only option against Hop is to actually wait for them to DP it. Feels like every single one of my ground buttons or options just gets high profiled. Every single one. It's actually so rough. Yeah.
That's fine. You got DP, it's fine.
If I didn't have DP, I'd be very mad
rough.
about the matchup. Yeah. But I've got DP. It's good anti against Hops.
To get the LDP shimmy again.
Nice.
Just throwing it out there. And it's a really strong position for Zori at this point. Can play a lot more patient.
Nice. Another Dragon hit.
Oh. Yeah. Metera is able to jump and then hop in the air, and that can cover a lot of ground that you probably wouldn't expect against most characters.
That's a hit. Oh, that's spotted. Couldn't that look like a butterfly starter to me? If you had actually used an EX.
Yeah, they didn't have high arrow, so they couldn't activate the butterfly themselves, but I still would have gone for the EX low arrow to get the knockdown.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I see you need the high arrow cooldown. I see.
I hate Metera. Why doesn't it throw students to Nova? I'm sorry. This is the character. There's a lot of frustrating things about her.
Yeah, that's the character. Simply, but if you're a god at this video game, like the Japanese are, and simply play every situation correctly against her without getting frustrated, she's low tier.
Not true. Oh, could have gone into high arrow there and led to the end of the round. Still probably going to reach it here with the OD. Glad everyone agrees that Metera's low tier. It's good.
Yes, in a mythical fairy tale world that doesn't match the reality of European
The
Union.
mythical fairy tale world known as Japan.
Exactly, Gamera isn't real. He's a
He
robot.
seemed to be some sort of astral projection when I saw him at EVO.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, that's punishable.
Have you actually seen Gamera with your own two eyeballs? He's been doctored into the picture with AI. He himself too is just
I'm pretty
an
sure
AI.
I've been implanted with false memories or something.
Yeah, for sure.
Taco was there. Taco's real.
Who? He's a Belia player. They are really much.
Elio players are usually real. Anyway. Yeah, against Zoe, it's tough getting like regular butterflies out just because of the L Dragon. He did not drop the auto combo into SSBA. He is a god.
Nice.
Oh, they are a god.
Good hit though, right? Oh yeah, that wasn't
Just
cool.
manages to squeak it out at the end there. It was looking rough to those last couple of games.
Hmm? Yeah. We've definitely seen how Zoe can too win this matchup. That the zoners are not reigning completely supreme tonight.
Yeah, you could see the adaptations as the set went on. Just like learning the matchup on the fly, which is good to see. Everyone doesn't play Metera. There's like one Metera in this bracket, and then the rest of EU, there's me and Pal. And then the other ones
And
fallen
Bonsai,
by the
Bonsai,
wayside, I think.
Bonsai has been playing
crops
recently.
up. Just pops their head out of the ground every now and again.
Margin also exists.
Oh man, Margin. Why did I forget Margin? I'm so nice.
This is why I'm not going to qualify for Cock.
Man, I should be banned from it.
Okay, so next up on the docket we've got Zeki against Raven. This is an entirely different matchup from the kind of matchups that Zeki has played so far. And by the way, probably one of the matchups where their playstyle is going to be working relatively well compared to others. If there's any matchup where I would consider Mistfinder to be a real option, it's this one. Because Vasaraga is slow and needs to take risks to stop you. But that being said, it is useful within the spacing where it can reach for specific reasons, because you want to stop Vasaraga from being able to get armor in the first place or being able to use preemptive options. Nice attempt to confirm. This is looking a lot more like it's up to Zaki's speed here, right? Because Raven is taking a lot of committal options himself that could be punished.
Oh,
Ooh,
nice.
baby.
Let's go.
Slow walk forward. I am smelling, no? Nice. And there's a reversal option. It's armor. And there's a command grab reset.
Into the command grab. And just like that, Vasaraga is putting Namaya on a chip point.
Yeah. Things should have happened here. Yeah. So in terms of this matchup, your main, as any character playing as Vasaraga, you want to stop him from armoring up. Which means that you have to be somewhat uncomfortably close to Vasaraga in a way. You have to be, as Namaya, you want to at least be able to harass him with other Mistfinders, so that he doesn't have the time to armor up. Which means consistently staying within the range of the Mistfinder. Good match here.
Oh no, it's gonna catch.
That's some unfortunate spaghetti going on.
Yeah, the armor is that sort of charge he does on himself. It gives him a token you'll see under his health bar.
Yeah.
And what that token does is it will apply a 2-hit armor to a lot of his specials, namely like his medium and heavy charge and walk options, as well as having the ability to hold his heavy specials and have like armor on that as well.
Yeah. That being said, Vasaraga's weakness with that armor token is that he needs to spend some time charging it up. And that is a relatively slow move. He needs quite a lot of time to charge it up. You can punish him or interrupt him if you're close enough and using attacks. If Vasaraga gets to charge up his armor token like this, it means that you are not putting him under enough pressure. That you are not threatening him enough. You want to ideally play in. Well, this is. I don't know how realistic it is applied to this matchup here, but you want to play in such a way that Vasaraga doesn't really have the time or space to charge armor. There's this. Nice. And there's a corner combo. Oh. Okay. I see that Zeki has
That's a big thing with Zeki is like they'll get the hits, but the thing is like being able to convert those hits into the damage is the thing that will end up winning the rounds. And so if they just got like their corner combos down and like understood what leads to what, then they'd have a lot more success against these opponents. But at the moment, just like the inability to get like big damage on the board, like Raven and the rest of the people in this beginner bracket are able to do, is like probably the main reason why they're not picking up the wins.
Okay, there we go.
So what would you say you should do when Vas actually has the armor token?
What do you do there? You kind of hope that he wasted. Well, you play somewhat similarly to normal. You're going to be trying to keep him. I'm a bit bad at explaining what exactly you want to do in this matchup in terms of simple instructions, 2-3 actual options to implement, but essentially you hope he wastes it. You accept that he's got some very good options with that armor token now, and you stop using Mistfinders because he could preemptively tackle through them. But in particular, you want to really. The main thing it does really change is during your own pressure, because with armor tokens, Vasara gets access to some very powerful armored moves that he can just completely use to mess up your own pressure. This should be a punish, no? Wrong
Yeah,
slashes.
it's just committed to the L slash, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, again, there, like the auto.
Oh, nice!
Out.
What a DP. Was so
So yeah,
good.
you can DP the tackles. That's good.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
that's what you're talking about earlier. Like, you can't really miss Finer when the armor token's up, because the armor will just shoot through it and lead to a big punish like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, generally I'd say like play a bit more defensively and try and bait the Vasaraga into wasting his armor, as you were saying.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think number one for Zyke is just spend some time in training mode, look up Namaya's like combo routes and be able to get those down in a match, or just doing like auto combo into SBA or SSBA.
Yeah.
There's a few times there where they got the auto combo hits and it just didn't lead to anything afterwards. Just being able to do that, then the matches will go a lot better for them.
Yes, and coupled with that SNTA point 2 would be trying to do something about their pressure, right? So on pressure, Zeki has been often giving up their turn by going for auto combo into nothing or auto combo into a minus on block special.
Yeah.
If you were to, on a base level, if you are cancelling your auto combo into EX Mistfinder, 236 heavy in the Genji stance, or the EX Moonflip, you can be plus on block and continue your pressure.
Yeah, and by plus on block means that you essentially recover before the opponent recovers, meaning that you can press a button and your button will win if they hit a button at the same time, essentially. If it's the
Exactly.
same frame data and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
If you minus like on like L slash or the M slashes that you do, then that means if you press a button after that, then the opponent will beat out that button and like they'll be able to do a combo on you basically.
Exactly.
Anyway, we should talk about this match now.
Sure. I've seen one round out of the corner of my eye and I've seen a lot of violence. I believe Raven to be, from what I've seen here, Raven takes a lot of risks without actually, that are not necessarily going to be backed by a lot of reward. So what I would do against this kind of player is just play very patiently. Try to wait for a risk. STA played patiently, safely, play in such a way that my own risk reward is right. And try to wait for one of the risky options that I know that I can punish. That would also STA mean just generally doing less, right? You don't need to against a player that plays this fast. You don't need to match their pace. You can play more slowly yourself.
Yeah, that's the theme of the day. Play less. So another thing as well I saw with Raven is that like they were charging their tackles and that kind of thing, which is probably one of another head there, unfortunate. It's kind of unnecessary with Vas because it doesn't really change the frame data or anything like that. It's just delaying the tackle taking place.
Yeah.
You'll see like better Vas players like Zwei, they might do like a charged heavy or something like that to try and bait out a fuzzy jump option on wake up.
Yeah.
Or something like that. But most of the time, just doing the move as fast as possible is generally the better idea. Unless it's the walk into the heavy follow-up, in which case you can hold it, and then if they block it, then it leads to an armor crush state, which you can combo off of.
So you don't want to block it, you need to spot out general reaction.
Yeah, basically. And not even a decent number of intermediate players are not too aware of that, so you can get away with it sometimes.
And even if they're aware of it, they might not be thinking about it at that moment and react too late.
Oh yeah, I've been hit by it.
True. Everyone has been hit by that at least once.
Yeah.
At least twice.
The
Even.
5 U'd, etc. Yeah.
Oh, don't remind me. Okay, that's a laser.
Yeah, shooting the dragon out and then it going past and then going into heavy lasers is working out quite well a lot of the time for the try to complete.
Yeah. I mean, I'm guessing that this is the kind of matchup where Vasaraga doesn't really want to let heavy laser happen, because if heavy laser happens, he's not going to be able to maneuver around it. That's it. So he gets in.
Yeah, gotta hold it.
So, in a sense, you might sometimes even need to hold it, because Vasara isn't a high mobility character, and if Zoe wants to take a lot of space, he'd need to take a lot of risks to approach that rapidly. Nice knockdown there. But I like how to completely trying to take our device too hard here, play slowly, and wait for something to punish. The scramble is favoring Raven here, of course. Yeah.
When you do start playing slowly to start off with, a lot of times it won't go well for you. You start feeling like you're playing worse, but like getting more used to the idea and more used to that style of playing will help you in the long run.
Yes. Yeah, and that was a good cancel. I do believe Raven would be the kind of player that would often press. But you can't. You cannot set the dragon after throw. You cannot. You get a safe jump, that's it. You don't have enough time for dragon.
Yeah, and again, when the laser's on top of Vass, like occasionally you can do something, but like 9 times out of 10 you want to just be like trying to defend it. Okay, that combos.
Okay. They're start to complete winning more scrambles than they're currently losing.
Yeah.
Which
on that laser cross up as well, just you know, hold the block button and down back until you actually see an overhead. The overhead has to take place at a specific time, namely like in between the 2 laser hits in order to combo. So you can specifically look for that with that timing. Although of course that's like quite difficult when you're just like dealing with everything else as well that's new to you. But yeah, it's definitely something to look out for there.
Who do we have next?
Got Shooter and Valentine. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Oh yeah, this matchup. The Enjoy Evening has been building up to it.
Yeah, I think this is one of the most interesting matchups in the game.
Mm-hmm. Why so?
The spacings that like each character wins at like shifts constantly between like up close and just like slightly outside of up close in far button range and outside far button range, then like 3/4 length and full screen. Just the way the balls work and like the shooting works as well. Of course, like a lot of times Eustace like is gonna win by just getting in.
Yeah. Oh, that was unfortunate. First, the back throw was a bad decision from Top Shooter. You don't want to help Metera escape the corner. And then after that, basically, you lose one interaction and you're out again. Okay, this should
dodge the LT with the arrow, but it doesn't get on the ground in time to be able to punish it.
Yeah, Metera is actually too floaty. Two zoners zone each other. Whoa.
Ooh,
nice.
That was clever.
Yeah. You can say that Eustace doesn't have a reversal TP, but that thing's invincible. If
yeah, it's kind of like a Zoe type deal where it's like invincible eventually, and you can use that in specific scenarios like the one just then.
I feel like these kind of specific scenarios will happen surprisingly often against Metera, because Metera likes to be in the air some space away from you. But Eustace can just shut it down if he sees it.
Yeah, you'll see Miri do that if you ever catch him playing a Metera.
I imagine he will actually have to do it. Is he in the group without Meteros?
No, he's in the same group as me.
Rip. Wow, that's sadistic.
Yeah. So like the safest place for Metera is like when she's full screen, up in the air. Eustace can't really do a lot about that, and Metera can shoot an arrow down. So that'll catch like shots, that'll catch balls, and you can obviously go and do a Shoryuken afterwards.
Yeah. but it would be a free invitation for Eustace to gain space if he's not doing anything in particular.
Oh, we got a regular jump, double ahead. Worked out, but unfortunately didn't convert afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah, still want to be careful. If he went for like a heavier shot there, it would have exploded the grenade. Oh my god, preemptive spot dodge never works. You gotta react to that.
Yeah. Or is it?
This one kill.
Barely.
Don't know if that was easy input or not, but
Oh no.
okay. Yeah, smartest option there. Might have been worried that you were crouching from the SSBA, that the arrow would go over it, but fortunately his hurtbox extends still upwards, so you can get away with that.
Nice, nice, nice. There we go. We're not playing games here. This is not a Zona matchup. This is a matchup where Eustace approaches rapidly.
Rush down Eustace.
Eustace has some good pressure reset tools,
Oh, that's so annoying. I hate that.
honestly. I mean, yeah, Eustace has several Blossom Block specials. He's got EX Grenade, he's got EX Short. Once he's in, he can kind of make Metera suffer, and in particular, set up grenades. And once grenades are set, he might be able to get another pressure reset, or just make any hit hurt, even the kind of hits that normally won't hurt, and that Metera might rely on to escape out of the corner. Right?
Yeah, his 5U, his charge 5U, the way his specials work as well make the pressure kind of unusual, and it can be difficult to like sort of ascertain the points in which way you can press or try and jump out. Yeah, I think getting a butterfly out when you can, this sort of range is very good for like actually getting in on Eustace or like making him think about things. Unfortunately, the balls catch.
There's a ball.
It's surprising the amount of times that you can do a 6-2-3 into like 2U and it'll work because people are like stand blocking against 6-2-3 because it's above them.
That's cool.
You've seen that work out a few times for Valentine here. That should be it. Yeah, nice.
Okay.
The round start 6-3L doesn't work there, as it shouldn't. Oh wow, that's nice.
Let's lead it again too, yeah. But yeah, I'd definitely be with you there. 6-3 preemption. Using 6-3 preemptively in neutral is. I don't know. I always hate when people actually get away with it against me.
There is certain matchups where you want to be doing that occasionally, just to keep people honest, but it's a bad idea because of the recovery on it usually.
Yeah. If your opponent happens to be moving forward at that time, you have a bad time.
Yeah, as I've seen many times. Nice knowing that the Eustace was running in. Gets the XR out enough to
Nice.
it.
Yeah. Oh, and that's an arrowhead. Didn't commit to it though.
Yeah, that's the good thing about getting butterflies out in this sort of matchup. I think shooting like a slow shot from distance, like one thing that people underestimate is like the person. Oh, that's bad. Yeah, I was just saying. If you shoot a slow shot, then a lot of times people kind of like have to stop and wait for it to travel across the screen and do something, and then that gives Metera opportunity to either move forward, get a butterfly out, do all sorts basically. And then if you got a butterfly out at the same time as you shoot that slow shot, then you've got coverage for like whatever you want to do as well. And so in this sort of matchup, just like shooting a slow shot from like full screen means that like Eustace has to be able to deal with that and doesn't want to get hit by that.
Yeah.
And then you can get your butterflies out and stuff like that, and that applies more pressure to be able to do something. But yeah, that's a little more advanced game theory than just what you'd probably expect at this point. Oh, just misses.
Oh, that's chunky. That looks super chunky on my end.
Yeah. It still gets the SVA despite that. It was the same on my end as well.
Oh, yeah.
I think they're waiting for the delay at this point.
Valentine is.
Felt a bit bad about getting that hit when it went completely down.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a very specific angle and spacing that you want to be able to do to avoid those like 2 balls and be able to get a hit in. So Eustace is pretty strong down to that position in this matchup.
I see. That's a trade that did favor users in the end here, I suppose. Though we are running Eustace pressure. Top shooter is staying far enough back to not let her out of the corner, which is good.
I like noticing that the ball was coming and deciding to go into an hour because of that rather than just like stand blocking it or something. Oh, preemptive spot dodge doesn't work. Gotta react.
Never works.
Oh, OS.
Oh, this could be a punish now.
Oh, he stopped running.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
Ooh, the unfortunate.
So here's the thing. Metera could get like SSBA on reaction to any sort of projectile from this distance. Eustace can SSBA himself if the Metera tries to jump and hop. But we end up with a 2U from an unsafe distance as well to end things.
I see. Well, to end this round.
Well, end this round, yeah.
Valentine still hasn't won 3 games in the set. So we still have a very, very real chance in our hands.
Yeah, I'd say to Valentine there on that round start position, if you want to go for like TKO, you want to do a neutral jump straight up basically.
Let's see.
You can neutral jump and then hop and that'll go through the balls as well. But, you know, there's specific timing for that as well.
Yeah. Oh, everything
was
is
blocking
separate
high
now.
but switched back down.
That's a chance.
Get around. Okay.
Okay, that's not as much damage as I could have.
Yeah, if you wanted to do that, you could probably pop the butterflies, then go into it afterwards.
Exactly.
Or just held onto it. I mean, it probably would have finished, actually, if you did, like, a full heavy combo there. Oh. Corona handshake.
Still a
Strongest
Corona
move in the
handshake.
game. You gotta react to it when you see the throw tech with...
So here we go again. Top shooter
Top shooter's
is...
been a bit more patient now, it seems like.
Was looking for some sort of opportunity, got it, but has still been knocked down and pushed far away from the other corner. But here's a bit of a chance. Not quite. We're back to mid-screen.
Oh, that's
And-
what
I like it.
See, that's the thing. That's the thing Eustace players like to do is the auto combo into 5U. There is a gap there.
Spot Dodge was also good for another reason. It would also have covered if Eustace had decided to cancel the EX Grenade, which is an extremely
Oh
strong
wow,
cancel
the
one otherwise.
preemptive spot dodge actually works out.
Nice.
Sorry, what were you saying there?
I was also talking about Spot Dodge beating EX Grenade at the spacing.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's one of the things as well, is the X grenade, if you spot dodge it, then you obviously don't get tagged with it, and therefore don't have to put up with the threat of big damage mid-screen or even bigger damage in the combo, and the corner, sorry.
Yeah. And Eustace is a
But
very
that's
unique character. Eustace is a very unique character in the sense that his damage doesn't depend on whether he has a corner or not. It really just depends on whether you've got a grenade on you or not. That has changed somewhat with the new rush conversions to some extent, but generally his big combos require him to detonate a grenade.
True. So yeah, what's happening now? Are we missing a player?
Zeka has left the room at some point.
What?
Whoa. Valentine has explained the lag in stream chat.
Alright. Yeah, don't worry about like the games and like making sure it's like tournament standard or anything like that. It's largely just to get a bunch of people together to play each other and learn more about the game.
Believe in victory. Battle 1. Engage.
Okay, yeah, like that, right? That's one of the ways you can stop Vasaga from being able to reliably build armor. If you just run at him while he is trying to charge up, you get a free hit. Of course that's scary, because Vasaga could just not be charging up
Just
and
like far heavy or something.
Yeah, you kind of get that idea. If Vasaga has too much, if Vasaga can be confident that you don't have the balls to run at him, then he's going to be able to get free armor tokens. Or generally if he's going to have the time and space to armor up. Yeah. Acid Rage Roar. Okay.
It's tough at this point because of the chip. Yeah. Just gets it anyway.
Alright. That's good.
What do you think is the best thing to do with these blue grenades?
I have no idea, honestly. Playing against them or playing with them?
Playing against them. So I think top shooters are using them pretty effectively so far.
I don't usually notice them. Depending on how Eustace uses them, there's a gap between the first and the second hit of the blue grenade, right?
Yeah.
So depending on how Eustace uses them, if he is relying too much on you respecting that gap, you can poke out. You can hit him before the second hit hits, and then the grenade vanishes. That's of course not always going to happen. You can probably also jump out of that second hit or generally disrespect the gap in other ways. Other than that, you can play preemptively. As Namaya, you could play preemptively against it by using more command dashes, using more stuff that hits him at mid-range before he has a chance to set a grenade. As for Zaga, it's going to be a bit more difficult. You might be able to use tackles, you might be able to jump in with Jump M preemptively like that. Zaga Jump M is a similar button to what Namaya has, in that has a lot of horizontal range.
Yeah, you could see the gap there, what you were talking about as well. In that,
Yeah.
like, he managed to get like a tackle out with armor
Yeah.
in between two grenade hits.
Oh, that was extremely... How would we put it?
I was gonna say desperate, that just seems nasty.
Hopeful.
Hopeful, that's it. That's a nicer word.
Nice. Raiden has been liking that reset, so I like Top Shooter calling it out.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of these rolls after auto combo. Probably want to spot dodge or something if you are specifically hard calling some out, but best option usually is just to block or take your turn.
Okay.
Probably want something else there.
Right.
Yeah, top shooter scene. The Raven was pressing a lot after his buttons, decides to go into SBA there and it works out.
I mean, it worked out, yes. A simple fire heavy would also have done the trick, I believe.
That's not cool though.
It definitely is cooler to just super and have it work. It is very uncool, however, if that super does end up not working and you become so flustered over it that you lose the round.
True. There you go. Vast 2M, very good button. Makes a big combo damage, and it's a very good call-out option for gaps and pressure.
With back throw. I like Top Shooter being aware there that taking a back throw as a punish to be able to switch sides and put Vasara in the corner is very good.
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes the highest damage combo mid-screen isn't the best option. Sometimes it's better just to put the person in the corner, just to be able to apply a ton of pressure to them.
Similarly, if you're pressuring second people or putting them under pressure when your back still is relatively close to the corner, back throw is always a very good option.
Just goes for it.
Nice. Engage. That's a good anti-air, but I mean at that point that's a bit of a recognition factor. You can, I believe, convert that sort of starter into a non-counter hit anti-air combo as Eustace if you don't charge up the slow kill. Then you still get some sort of combo. It's one of the great strengths of Eustace that he does manage to just get a similar combo for anti-air countered, anti-air non-countered, and get a lot of result out of both. But once again, that's a bit of a difficult topic, but one you can cover if you're trying to really grind.
Yeah, it's something you notice when you're playing him, is that you don't have to change up your combo depending on if the counter hit gets hit or not.
Yeah. Love the back throw once again.
Yeah, so backs off to create some space, and probably should have stayed in. Like, once you're in on a zoner character, then backing off to get armor is probably not the best idea. You're probably better off just applying pressure and getting a knockdown and getting the armor that way if you're desperate for it.
Exactly. It also ties into another, more or less very common topic, the question of which range do I want to actually try to be in a matchup, right? That's actually a conscious question. You want to consciously ask yourself, where do I want to stand in a matchup? Where do I ideally want to be? I think a lot of people subconsciously try to walk back to where it is safe, right? To where the opponent's character couldn't hurt them immediately, but also where their character doesn't really have any good options. So usually there is a specific range in a matchup where you are better than your opponent, and it might be a range where, for example, your opponent can also hurt you, but your tools might, for example, just be better. So yeah.
It's sort of like boxing, where some characters are better as in-fighters, like they want to hang out in the pocket, pepper them that way, even though they're at risk of getting hit themselves. Asaga, definitely probably one of those characters.
Definitely. Because Eustace doesn't need to take any.
Yeah, he's going to take this.
Major risks. Nice. He took that risk. He got punished for it.
So you see a lot of SBAs, SSBAs as just like straight counters working out at the beginner level. And I think that's sort of like lends itself to how like beginners tend to play, in that like if they're in a situation where their opponent is minus, they're going to want to take their turn immediately so they can press their own buttons, so they're not defending anymore. Whereas at higher level, you might see like more delayed options, or using like safe meaty options or something like that in order to like account for like those SPAs, and they work out a lot less at that level because of that. And it goes back to what you were saying earlier about just like playing more patiently. Sometimes you give up your opportunity to be able to get out of a situation, but in the long run it'll stop you taking like big damage in a corner or something like that, just to play more conservatively. Watching out for DPs, watching out for reversal SBAs, etc.
Yeah.
It also helps when it comes to like countering OD as well.
Okay. There's a bucket.
Oh no.
Yes.
That's one of the things as well, is situational awareness. When the grenade's on you, like mashing out is a very big risk.
When the grenade's on you, yeah, true, but honestly, at that point, a lot of options are weighted against you. If you get hit by an overhead, the grenade explodes. If you get hit by a throw, the grenade explodes. If you get frame trapped, the grenade explodes. So, just generally, everything you do is going to be more risky, but against a good Eustace, you're likely going to have to take some risk. Which is something.
Yeah, I think like throw overhead. Yeah, especially at this level, it's like hard to deal with all of those options. If you're also like being able to specifically look out for those options, then the situation becomes a bit more manageable, and a lot of times Eustace will end up going for just exploding the grenade to create a plus situation, which is ideally the best case scenario for you in that spot.
Yeah.
Well, it's not the best case scenario, but like it's a good outcome. The best case scenario is you mash out and do like big damage somehow. But that's also like huge risk, huge reward type thing. Or huge risk, medium reward. Oh yeah.
Anyway.
What's happening now?
Do we have more games?
I think ZK. We've got a ZK already, so like I don't know how to pronounce it. Is backed out.
I have no idea what game it is. Yeah.
Yeah, so one of the players backed out. Probably not feeling it too much because like the rest of the people competing in this, like Valentine tried to complete, Top Shooter. I'm missing someone. Raven as well. They've obviously got like a grasp on the game, which is pretty solid. And I don't know. Yeah. ZK. I'll go with ZK. That works. Yeah. Is a bit newer to the game, so probably feeling a bit overwhelmed by like these other players. So it's understandable in that sense.
Yeah, so it looks like that will be our last game. The scheduled final game with Zeki seems like they're pulling out, and
Mhm.
their game will not take place.
Mhm.
Will be a buy to try to complete, which will finalize our standings
Unfortunate.
when challenge decides to load. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, as you said, they were quite new to the game. I believe they were sitting at 0 room wins when they joined at first. So for all I know, this could have been their first games.
Mhm.
But also, I think they weren't too pleased with the zoning gauntlet, the zoning hell that is today's bracket.
Yeah, unfortunate, but sometimes it just do be like that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you gotta learn to play against these type of characters at some point, unless you're planning to just dodge matchups all the time. Which, I mean, that's not. I don't know how much that's gonna do.
Sure, but if you consider this a welcome to the game, then it's a pretty harsh one. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, true.
Was it
but-
free zoners?
It was 2 zoners, right? And Vasaga. I wouldn't consider Vasaga a zoner, but Vasaga has a lot of range.
What, Eustace, Matera, and Zoe?
Zoe's not a zoner. I mean, she's
Zoe's
got a
not a
fireball,
zoner?
but like, no, she's not.
Zoe's a zoner.
The fireball's good, but it's like saying Belial's a zoner because he's got a good fireball.
It's more like you're very much forced to approach her due to the
That's
what's
more
the
to do
word?
with the charging and stuff like that, though, isn't it?
But the
I don't think a zoning
advan- the-
matchup is defined by the having to approach or not.
Well, that's why Vasaraka is a zoner. but in Zoe's case, she's got like long range options, and it's really egregious how much advantage she gets. Like if you let her charge freely.
Rather than the purist discussion with the different alignments to whether
I mean, just
DP
fucking
is
just
a pure Shoryuken that's done with a Z motion, or a DP is some upwardly mobile thing, or if a DP is any attack that has a hitbox that goes above the head or something like that.
I mean, this fucking bracket, most of our tournament staff is zoners. You and me are actual zoners, Dudikoff.
Yeah.
Fairy's not really a zoner. That's not.
Fairy's not a zoner, okay.
Really?
She was a zoner as a season 1, but now she's just doing dive kicks and shit. Fuck her.
I mean, that's your matchup. That's how we approach you. Of course we do.
That's what I'm doing.
Can you please stop turning this into a zoner alignment chart?
Okay, sorry.
It's a zoner alignment chart.
Six
Anyway.
is a zoner because he can do a big attack that goes full screen.
That would
Yes,
be the
a
end of the
projectile that
bracket.
goes for screen, yeah.
That would be the end of the
Alright,
bracket
let's go projectile.
with Valentine at first place with 4-0.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Top shooter below that in second. Try to complete a third. Raven in fourth. And Zeiki on fifth.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I know it's not the best introduction to the game. I know most people don't enjoy zoners or like half zoners, but it kind of be like that sometimes. And these people are still. I did notice in Zeiki's case, like it felt like they were very much just still learning the game, like even just really basic mechanics. But I also saw like, okay, now they're starting to like roll more, they're starting to jump more. Like they were very much learning as they went, and I think had previous fighting game experience, so I think it would have been fine if they carried on. But if you're not enjoying it, you're not enjoying it.
Yeah, I think it's tough for Raven as well because there's like 2 matchups that you have to have like very specialized knowledge in as Vasaraga in order to get success in.
I mean, Vasaraga players can't talk about specialized knowledge.
I mean, that's kind of the character as well, isn't it? Yeah. But yeah, no, it was good. It was a good showing all around. Very impressed with the Matera player. Please don't feel bad about like dominating people with Matera. That's the entire point of the character.
No, you're just
People will complain. People will complain about it, but like, just get some sort of joy from that.
At the end of the day,
You'll
you
go
are
far.
just you are just playing the game, and you can't really be faulted for that. It's not like you're being toxic or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I mean, dropping combos is a huge part of it. Top shooter, don't worry.
But yeah, we'll
The
wrap
Eustace as
things-
well is kind of complicated. So yeah, go ahead.
We'll wrap things up now. Smaller bracket, of course. I hope it was still at least enjoyable for parties involved, and at least
had a good
somewhat
time
enjoyable for
watching.
Steaky. Yeah, hope that was all good and everything. If you're wondering where else can I play or watch some good ass Grand Blue, We have tomorrow is the Hard Edge sets. That's where you can meet, well not meet, but you can hear more Viver's commentary.
Yes. Hmm.
That's
Exactly.
like, those are like first to 5 exhibition sign-ups happen on like Tuesdays, and I'd say they're fairly beginner friendly because if you're a beginner, they'll match you with other like people of your similar to your skill level, especially if you specify like, hey, I'm a beginner.
Yeah.
Beyond that, we have double elimination brackets with one bowlers on Fridays and someone running something on Saturdays. Like it's up in the air, but it's we try and run something on Saturdays for double elimination. Next week, Clash of Contenders is happening, the qualifying group stages. So that's invitation only. So, but if you want to watch some good ass Grand Blue, there's some pretty good names coming up. All of your lovely commentators and myself will be playing at some point. Although, some of us just gonna get our ass whooped in my case. And yeah, of course, I always forget to mention that Wednesday, of course, is lobby night. If you just wanna play a bunch of Grand Blue, we all meet up on Wednesday night, UK Lobby 1. But yeah, as usual, plenty of Grand Blue happening throughout the week. There should always be something to keep your attention. And of course you have these beginner brackets. I'll try and run these semi-frequently.
Mhm.
But yeah, that should be everything, unless you two have anything else you want to add.
Yeah, I'd say if anyone's got any questions or wants to like go over anything that we've talked about or want something advice or whatever, like, feel free to reach out to me. That's fine. Can reach out to just like the general community in the general channel, or just create an advice thread as well if you've got any questions. Like if you're a VAS player, as we saw with Raven, then the VAS can play as like a Riot and Gatekeeper's Way. But more than happy to help out. There's even a huge like advice thread for VAS Riot players, as well as a counterplay for against VAS thread as well. So check out those advice channels. And yeah, that's basically all I've got to say. Yeah, feel free to top shooter. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, never be afraid to ask questions, and if you're, I'd also recommend checking back in the VOD and listening to what the commentators have to say.
I feel like some people were like playing the game while listening, which is probably not the most ideal way to play, but like, yeah, just going back and listening again so you got your full concentration on it might help. Like off the top of my head, I think I gave some like tips in the game, so a lot of times you were winning, so we were concentrating on the other player, but there was definitely stuff in there for you. If there's anything specific I said or something you want to talk about, yeah, just DM me or just at me in the Hearts of Blaze and server, that's fine.
Alrighty, with that, we'll be heading out. Thank you two for hopping on comms.
Thanks for having me, appreciate it. It's good games.
Yeah, thanks everyone for watching, and thanks everyone for playing. We'll be signing off now. Bye bye.
Yeah. Goodbye.
See ya.